So the other day I did a video about an HDMI splitter which had one HDMI input on one side and two HDMI outputs on the other, and you can switch it around. And the idea is that you use it in between your games console, in this instance a PlayStation 3, and your game capture device, which I use the Elgato HD60S, or as Jablinski says, the Delgato. But as I said in the video the other day, the splitter didn't work, despite the fact that it was marketed as having HDCP bypass or HDCP pass-through. Now that stands for high bandwidth digital content protection. I always forget that. High bandwidth digital content protection, but effectively it just means it's a copyright platform, and it's to stop people recording directly from consoles or from cable boxes and things like that, so you can't record TV shows and movies. Now over the last few days I've been looking at alternative solutions, and I've been looking at, well, just generally the actual issue of this HDCP getting in the way of what I want to do, which is play games, record them and stream them. And I've seen a lot of people saying that this is a very annoying standard to have, because it really doesn't stop anyone from recording. Anyone who's serious about ripping content will find a way around it, and it just gets in the way of people who have a legitimate reason to bypass it. When you look online, you'll see a lot of people, and they're buying it specifically to route like their cable box to 2 or 3 different rooms and things like that. There are a lot of legitimate reasons to try and bypass it, but the problem is that it's not, you're not allowed to do this. And this is the problem that I'm seeing on Amazon. If I go over to Amazon just now, and this is the UK website, Amazon UK, you will see lots of splitters. Now I've searched for HDCP bypass, and you can see this one at the top, HDCP 2.2 bypass. 2.2 is the latest version, but it's backward compatible with 1.4, 1.3, etc. And you'll see a lot of these saying that they will bypass this protection, this copyright protection. And you'll see a lot of them saying that. Now the one that I bought said it had that as well. You can see this one as well, bypass. But you will see in the marketing material saying that it does bypass it. You put you put this in between your console and your game capture card. But most of the comments, if you look at one of these ones that they've got like 1,000 comments, there's always a few people saying, listen, don't listen to the other reviews. This doesn't work. And I've seen a lot of people saying that you generally have to avoid buying it from an official website because it is against the law. And if there's anyone selling a bypass or pass-through device, it will probably be taken down because legally you're not supposed to be able to remove it. So I've seen some people saying that you should go to somewhere like AliExpress instead and buy it from China. But even looking at the comments on some of these devices as well, I've seen some comments from people saying it doesn't work. It doesn't bypass the copyright protection. So where does this leave someone who isn't trying to steal content? They just want to record the game, play a game, an old game from an old console. Where does it leave you? Well, it leaves you in a kind of funny position where you can, through trial and error, you can maybe find one of these that work. And I've seen a lot of discussions about this on Reddit and a few other places. And I've seen some people saying that, despite some people saying that the comments say that it doesn't work, if you set it up like this, ABC, then it should work. But then someone else will leave a comment and say, no, that was the older version. The new version doesn't work. They've changed the way that the device is being designed, that it doesn't work anymore, so it doesn't bypass that copyright protection. And as I showed you yesterday, when I loaded up the Elgato software, it shows up a HDCP error message and essentially just shows you a black screen. It's the same in OBS. Now, one option would be to go to China and buy something from AliExpress, but as I said, a lot of those devices have the same problem. So it seems like there's a little bit of a cat and mouse where people, sellers shouldn't be selling any device that can remove it, that can bypass it, but some of them might be able to do that. But I've seen a lot of people saying that it works, and then 6 months down the line it doesn't work. So I'm reviewing my options at this point. I don't really have a clear option, a clear understanding as to what the best thing is to do. Ideally, for me, if I could buy one that was like 4 or 5 HDMI inputs, I could hook up my PlayStation 3, my Wii U, perhaps even the Fire Stick, and I could capture footage. For example, I did a review of the Fire Stick yesterday, and I couldn't capture the footage of the interface. I had to film the actual monitor. A little bit of a pain because I'm not trying to steal content. I'm just trying to, do a review. So it would be easier for me to use that. But there are some workarounds. One thing being that the HDCP standard isn't supported with analog cables. So if I went to the back of my PlayStation and instead of using an HDMI input, I use the AV multi, I use the component cable, then if I use the component cable, then in theory the HDCP issue goes away. And then what I do is I take the component signal, I put it through a component to HDMI, a little box, you can buy them fairly cheaply, and then I put that into the game capture card, into the Elgato or the Delgato. So essentially what I'd be doing is going from the PlayStation to component, and then component to HDMI, and then HDMI to HDMI. My concern with that is that it might work, but there's also a couple of concerns. One being that you're going from analog to digital, and the other being that, well, there's a chance of signal degradation when you're adding more outputs and conversions in the loop. And also from a gaming streaming point of view, there is a risk that you might get more lag. So there's a little bit of lag, not a huge amount, but there's a slight amount of lag when you capture from the game capture card, and Elgato admit that on the website, and other game capture devices say the same. There's like milliseconds of lag, but if you're adding 2 or 3 other things in the mix in the middle of it, lag could be more of an issue. So at this point, I'm going to do more research into it. I'm going to see if I can find a device. This is actually quite a common issue, as far as there's a lot of people trying to resolve this, so hopefully someone who's watching this can help point me in the right direction, and hopefully if I find a solution I can help you guys. But it looks like if you want to go down the HDMI splitter route, if you want to have like 1 input, 2 outputs, or 1 and 4, 4 and 1, any of these kind of switchers, HDMI ports, it seems to be hit and miss as to what works and what doesn't. I'm going to have to check more reviews. Some people say that it works, and you go, right, I'm going to buy this one. I don't care if it's 40, 50 pounds, I'm going to buy this one. And then you see another comment saying, don't listen to that comment above, it doesn't work. So I'm going to have to try and find one where a lot of people say, yes, this one works. But not only that, I'm going to have to try and find one where the review is recent. I saw a few reviews where someone says it works, but the comment is from like 2015. And you really can't rely on a comment on a product. It's probably a different product now being sold, just attached to the same listing. So I need to find one that's got a recent review that confirms that it does work. But not only that, I want to see videos and images showing you that it does work. It's a little bit of a pain here because I'm not trying to steal content. I'm not trying to do anything illegal. I just want to show you guys me playing older games from like 10 years ago, 20 years ago even. But it seems to be a problem with this HDCP copyright protection thing. So I'll look into it more, guys. I'll try and figure this out. It's a little bit of a pain. It's one of those things, because I was thinking about this and I was like, if I was going to spend £100 on a Switch device that allowed me to bypass all this, there's a part of me thinking, why not just buy a second PlayStation 4 or buy an Xbox and just do it through that, where you can disable the HDCP. But I'm going to look at all my options and I'll let you guys know which I come up with and which ones actually do work. But there is a risk of me having to buy something and then sending it back again. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll keep you guys updated and I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care.